Isaiah 27. At that time, the Lord will punish with his destructive, great, and powerful sword Leviathan, the fast-moving serpent, Leviathan, the squirming serpent. He will kill the sea monster. When that time comes, sing about a delightful vineyard. I, the Lord, protect it. I water it regularly. I guard it night and day, so no one can harm it. I am not angry. I wish I could confront some thorns and briars. Then I would march against them for battle. I would set them all on fire. Unless they become my subjects and made peace with me, let them make peace with me. The time is coming when Jacob will take root. Israel will blossom and grow branches. The produce will fill the surface of the world. Has the Lord struck down Israel as he did their oppressors? Has Israel been killed like their enemies? When you summon her for divorce, you prosecute her. He drives her away with his strong wind in the day of the east wind. So in the way Jacob's sin will be forgiven. And this is how they will show they are finished sinning. They will make all the stones of altar like crushed limestone, and the Asherah poles and the incense altars will no longer stand. For the fortified city is left alone. It is a deserted settlement, and abandoned like the wilderness. Calves graze there. They lie down there and eat its branches bare. When its branches get brittle, they break. Women come and use them for kindling. For these people lack understanding. Therefore, the one who made them has no compassion on them. The one who formed them has no mercy on them. At that time, the Lord will shake the tree from the Euphrates River to the stream of Egypt. Then you will be gathered up one by one, O Israel. At that time a large trumpet will blow, and the ones lost in the land of Assyria will come, as well as the refugees in the land of Egypt. They will worship the Lord on the holy mountain in Jerusalem. Okay, so a couple of different motifs overlapping in this section here. Let's scroll back. Ba-da-bum. Okay, at that time, the Lord will punish with his destructive, great, and powerful sword. So, at the time, what time? When the blood has been cried out from the earth. So we have to go back. His judgment is coming. The ground has cried out all the sins to be punished. So this is the final day of justice, of judgment. So Leviathan here, okay, we're not supposed to be going and looking for an actual creature of the sea. Many ancient peoples talked about the sea and chaos as a Leviathan, a monster, because what is in there that stirs up the sea? Well, it is the sea monster that causes the waves to come about by its movement in the sea. It is the source which causes all of the chaos of the deep. So it is the thing that dwells in there. So Leviathan is the image for that. Now, if you go to, I believe, Babylonian, you have these multi-headed Leviathans. And Psalms often will talk about God slaying or playing with Leviathan. And so we have the realm that God can control anything and everything, even chaos. The fast-moving serpent, the squirming serpent. He will kill the sea monster. So Leviathan here is the sea, the fleeing, okay, the slithering, yeah, so they have the slithering. The description of Leviathan should be compared to the following. Here it is, Ugaritic. That's what I was trying to think of. Mythical. Was not the dragon, cognate of Hebrew, translated as sea monster here, vanquished and captured. I did destroy the wriggling, cognate of Hebrew, translated squirming here, serpent, and tyrant with 7 heads. That's what it is. It's the Ugaritic that has the 7 heads. For all of the you smote Leviathan, the slippery. Okay, so we've got more of that. So just, it's talking about the origins of the imagery there that is being used here. So just because just because Greek has this in their mythology, just because Ugaritic has this, doesn't mean that we have to think it's a literal thing or think that this is Hebrew mythology. It's not. It is simply cultural understood language to describe chaos and the sea, which is dangerous. And it's not water is dangerous. The sea is a place of chaos, and it is filled with things that you cannot see, and you don't know they are coming. So that's part of the chaos within it. You do not see all of a sudden the waves come from. What caused them? You cannot see it. So that's why it has chaos language around it. So Leviathan is that personification of chaos, if you will. And God's going to slay him. No biggie. No biggie. And they're like, we're done. When the time comes, sing about the delightful vineyard. Okay, we went from the slaying of the sea monster to a delightful vineyard. Sometimes the desert and the sea are overlapping images, and how do you undo a desert? You plant vineyards. So you're going to have something delightful there. I, the Lord, protect it. I water it regularly. I guard it at night and day so no one can harm it. So the chaos that's out there has been slain. Therefore, now a vineyard can be planted. I am not angry. I wish I could confront some thorns and some briars. Then I would march against them for battle. I would set them all on fire. Unless they become my subjects and made peace with me, let them make peace with me. So, like in the motif here of he's planting a vineyard, the thorns and briars are, the things that are going to come against the vineyard. So I think that's all it is. Like, hey, I'm not angry. I wish I could confront some thorns and briars that want to come against me. I would set them all on fire unless they become my subjects and made peace with me, and let them make peace with me, which is an interesting thought. If thorns and briars were to come and make peace, like they're not going to, come against you, which is an odd thing. Like the thorns and briars, you stay over there, you stay out of my vineyard, you're okay, I won't pick you. Well, in some ways I do that in some things. Like the dandelions, I let go throughout my yard, no issues with them. They get in my flower bed, they get picked though. They don't get to go in my flower garden. No, sir. That is a place that is protected so that those flowers may grow. Dandelions not welcome there, but all throughout the yard, you're welcome. So maybe it's kind of like that kind of idea there. The time is coming when Jacob will take root. So Jacob has been cut off. Jacob has been exiled. Jacob has been being punished. Israel is being punished for all of its sins, and it's going to take root. He's planting a vineyard. He's starting over. So is Jacob the vineyard? Possibly. Israel will blossom and grow branches. That sounds like a vineyard. And produce will fill the surface of the earth. Well, you want a crop on there. That's how you're going to do it. Has the Lord struck down Israel as he did their oppressors? Has Israel been killed like its enemies? So, okay, are we struck down and abandoned and left for dead? Like the striking down of the one striking down, does he strike him down? The meaning of the text is unclear, but this may be a rhetorical question suggesting that Israel has not experienced divine judgment to the same degree as the oppressors. That's what I get out of it. Literally reads like the killing of his killed ones. Is he killed? I like how Hebrew does that. The killing of his killed ones. Is he killed? Like you just keep repeating the same word throughout it, you get the ringing of it. If one accepts the interpretation of the parallel line outlined in the previous note, then this line too would contain a rhetorical question suggesting Israel has not experienced destruction in the same degree as its enemies. His killed ones, referring to the ones who struck Israel down, and Israel being the subject of the final verb, is he killed? So punishment and severe correction, but not final death. When you summon her for divorce, now we're switching to what you did. You did because of relationship. The motif of divorce here is always one of relationship, of God being the groom and his people being the bride. And we move that from the Old Testament into the New Testament with Christ being the groom and the church being the bride. So we have that continuation there. So he'd summoned you for divorce papers. Why? Because you were unfaithful. The people were unfaithful. How were they unfaithful? They followed after other gods. So when Jacob sinned, So in this way, Jacob's sin will be forgiven, and this is how they will show they have finished sinning. So Jacob's sin will be forgiven in this way. You have to first stop sinning. How are you going to stop sinning? You're going to make all the stones of altars like crushed lime. You're going to tear down all the altars, and the Asherah poles, and the incense altars will no longer stand. For the fortified city is left alone. It is a deserted settlement. The abandoned, and like the wilderness, calves graze there. They lie down. Looks like so. All of your settlements are going to be abandoned. You need to abandon the worship and tear it down and make it worse than your cities are. Your cities have been a place of punishment, but you are still continuing to serve other gods. You've got to stop. You got to stop. And so there are going to be sprouts and branches, and they're going to be stripped bare by cattle that are there. And they're going to be brittle. They're going to break off. They're going to be used for kindling. So yeah, it looks like something's happening, but you have not abandoned it. So therefore, the one who made them has no compassion on them. The one who formed them has no mercy on them. So even on God's own people, if you are not repentant and you're not turning from your ways and you're not returning to your God to serve him and follow him and him alone, at some point his mercy is not going to be extended to you. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. At that time, the Lord will shake the tree from the Euphrates River, from the stream of Egypt. Then he will gather up one by one, O Israel. At that time, a large trumpet will blow, and the ones lost in the land of Assyria, so we have 3 places mentioned now, will come, as well as the refugees in the land of Egypt. They will worship the Lord on the holy mountain of Israel. So at some future point, there is going to be a return. So you have been scattered. You've been taken to Assyria, northern kingdom. You've been taken across the Euphrates to Babylon, southern kingdom. Some of you have fled to Egypt to try to be refugees there. And all of you will at some point be called at that time. At what time? When the people finally stop sinning. When they finally return to God and they tear down all the altars, all the Asherah poles, everything else, then God will act with mercy. All right, Isaiah